Chosen one, pause for a moment and listen with your heart, because this message is not an accident, and this moment is not random. There are seasons when Allah allows silence to shape you, and then there comes a time when He decides to speak with absolute clarity, removing every veil and ending every doubt. And February 4th marks that turning point where Allah says no more confusion, no more guessing, no more secrets, because for a long time you sensed that something was hidden, that things were not adding up, that people shifted without explanation and doors closed without warning, and deep inside your soul you knew there was more to the story. Yet Allah was protecting you from a truth you were not ready to carry, strengthening your heart through patience, loss, and isolation. And now you are ready, because this is the moment Allah begins to reveal why you were delayed, why certain relationships collapsed, why you were separated from familiar paths, and why your soul could never settle. And if you are hearing this right now, it is because Allah has decided you are strong enough to receive the full truth about your journey, about the people around you, and about the mission that lies ahead. So do not scroll, do not doubt, and do not turn away, because what you are about to hear may finally make sense of everything you survived and prepare you for what Allah is about to release into your life. Chosen one, understand this sacred principle with absolute certainty. Allah never elevates a servant while their vision is clouded, because confusion is not a flaw, it is a phase, and Allah allows it only until the heart is strong enough to carry clarity without arrogance or despair. And for a long time you lived in a space where things felt unclear, where answers were delayed, intentions were mixed, people were inconsistent, and situations seemed to contradict what you prayed for. Yet every moment of that confusion was intentional, because Allah was training your discernment, teaching you to listen beyond words, to read energy beyond appearances, and to rely on Him rather than human explanations. And this is why you questioned yourself, replayed conversations, wondered why certain doors closed without reason, and felt the weight of not knowing, because Allah was stripping away emotional dependence and sharpening your inner sight. And now the shift happens, because when Allah decides to elevate you, He first removes confusion from your heart, not all at once but layer by layer, until suddenly things make sense without needing explanation. Patterns become visible, motives become clear, and you realize that what once hurt you was actually guiding you, because clarity is not just information, it is authority. And Allah does not place authority on a confused heart, so He waited until you learned patience, restraint, humility, and trust, until you stopped reacting emotionally and started observing spiritually. And now Allah begins to replace confusion with calm certainty, not loud answers, but deep knowing, where you no longer chase closure, argue your truth, or beg for understanding, because Allah Himself becomes your confirmation. And this is the moment you notice that peace enters your decisions, confidence enters your silence, and strength enters your patience, signaling that elevation is near, because confusion belongs to preparation, not promotion. And Allah, in His perfect wisdom, ends confusion not to make life easier, but to make you ready, ready to lead without bitterness, to succeed without losing faith, and to stand firm without needing validation. And when clarity arrives, it is not just about seeing others clearly, it is about finally seeing yourself as Allah has always seen you, capable, chosen, protected, and prepared for a higher station that could only be entrusted to a heart refined by uncertainty and guided back to truth by Allah alone. Chosen one, know this truth with certainty. Allah never exposes hidden intentions to shame people. He reveals them to ***, protect His chosen servants, ***, because not every danger announces itself loudly, and not every enemy comes with open hostility. and for a long time you felt uneasy around certain people without being able to explain why, sensing subtle resistance behind smiles, discomfort behind compliments, and competition disguised as concern. And you questioned yourself for feeling that way, wondering if you were overthinking or being unfair. Yet that quiet discomfort was Allah alerting your heart long before your eyes could see clearly, and Allah allowed time to pass so intentions could mature and expose themselves without you having to accuse, argue, or defend your discernment, because when Allah reveals hidden intentions, He does it in a way that leaves no doubt and no need for explanation. And now you begin to notice contradictions, slips of the tongue, changes in behavior, sudden distance, and silent withdrawal of support, not as a coincidence but as divine exposure, because Allah does not allow His chosen ones to build their future on false loyalty or emotional deception. And what hurts the most is realizing that some people were never meant to walk with you beyond a certain point, but Allah waited until you were emotionally strong enough to accept the truth without collapsing, because earlier exposure would have broken your heart. Yet now it strengthens your resolve, teaching you that discernment is not suspicion but wisdom, and separation is not rejection but protection. And as painful as it is, Allah is removing those whose intentions would have contaminated your peace, delayed your growth, or drained your energy. And when Allah steps in like this, He asks you to respond with dignity, not revenge, silence, not confrontation, distance, not drama, because the exposure itself is the closure, and as the truth settles, you feel lighter, clearer, and more aligned, realizing that Allah did not take people away to leave you alone, but to make space for the right connections, divine support, and a future built on sincerity rather than illusion. And in this moment you understand that what you lost was never loyalty, but a test, and what you gained was protection, clarity, and Allah's personal intervention in your life, reminding you that when He chooses someone, He guards them, even from what looks harmless on the surface, but carries hidden harm beneath. Chosen one, understand this deeply. Every moment you felt delayed, every opportunity that seemed to slip through your fingers, every door that closed unexpectedly, every prayer that was answered with silence, was never a punishment, nor a sign that Allah had forgotten you. It was a deliberate pause, a sacred delay designed to protect you and prepare you for a greater reality that your soul could not yet handle. Because some truths are too vast, too powerful, too transformative to be revealed before the heart and spirit are ready to carry them, and for years, perhaps decades, you wondered why your progress felt slow, why your efforts didn't yield immediate results, why the world seemed to move forward without you. And yet in that waiting, Allah was quietly shaping you, refining your intentions, strengthening your patience, and removing attachments that would have distracted you from the mission He has destined for you. And now, on this divine date, the veil is lifting, and you are beginning to see that the delays were not obstacles, but protective measures, because if the truth had been revealed sooner, you might have misused it, misunderstood it, or been overwhelmed by it. And Allah, in His infinite wisdom, kept you in preparation, sometimes through hardship, sometimes through isolation, sometimes through unanswered questions, but always through His perfect knowledge of what you could endure. And now the reality becomes clear. Those delays were the scaffolding upon which your destiny is being built, teaching you that timing is not coincidence, patience is not passivity, and endurance is not suffering but an essential part of elevation. And as you witness doors opening, paths aligning, and clarity emerging where confusion once reigned, you will finally realize that what you thought was being withheld was in fact being carefully delivered according to divine precision. because Allah never rushes the chosen ones into a truth they are not ready to receive, and every moment of waiting, every tear, every struggle, every sense of incompleteness was a piece of the divine design, quietly assembling your strength, your discernment, and your readiness, so that when the moment comes, you not only understand the truth, but you embody it, you rise with it, and you step into your purpose fully prepared, fully confident, and fully protected by the one who knows the beginning and the end of every story. And this is why the delay was never your enemy, but your greatest ally, your hidden teacher, and the sign that Allah's plan for you is far bigger than what you could have imagined, and that now, finally, you are ready to witness the fullness of that divine truth in every corner of your life. Chosen one, listen closely, because this lesson carries a weight that many never understand. Allah shows you who you are not by revealing who others are, and in that revelation lies both clarity and power. For too long you may have sought validation from people who could never see your light, approval from those whose hearts were small, and loyalty from those whose intentions were divided. And in the process, you questioned yourself, wondering why you felt out of place, misunderstood, or even rejected. Yet every feeling of discomfort, every encounter with betrayal, every moment of silent judgment from others was Allah's way of holding up a mirror, not to punish you, but to teach you your true identity, because the truth is that your value is not dependent on their recognition, their approval, or their presence. And when Allah begins to expose who they are, He does so gradually, allowing you to observe patterns, uncover motives, and see the limits of human loyalty without losing your heart to bitterness. And this revelation is profoundly protective, because many would have distracted you, misled you, or even dragged you away from the path Allah has prepared for you. Yet now, as masks begin to fall and intentions become visible, you see clearly that some people were never meant to stay, and their departures are not losses but confirmations of your worth. And you start to realize that the isolation, the loneliness, the feeling of being different were all preparatory stages, to awaken the greatness that Allah placed inside you, because when you see their flaws, their limitations, and their failures, you also see the reflection of your own strength, your own clarity, and your own potential. And Allah uses this method not to make you cynical, but to make you wise, to train your discernment, and to ensure that your energy is invested in what truly matters, in people whose hearts are aligned with your purpose, and in missions that serve the divine will. And as this clarity settles, you begin to walk differently, with confidence, with dignity, and with the understanding that your presence in any space is not for approval but for purpose, and that being misunderstood, overlooked, or even opposed does not diminish your value, because Allah has never asked His chosen ones to shrink themselves to fit the limits of others. And in this exposure, you see your soul's magnitude, your resilience, and your unique place in the divine plan. And the lessons become undeniable. The ones who criticize, betray, or abandon you were never enemies. They were mirrors for your awakening, reflections of what you are not meant to settle for, and proof of what Allah has destined you to rise above. And as you internalize this, you stop seeking validation externally. Your peace becomes unshakable, your vision becomes sharper, and your heart, once burdened by doubt, now thrives on divine certainty, because Allah reveals who they are, not so you can finally understand who you truly are. A chosen servant, protected, guided, and prepared to fulfill a purpose that no one else could ever interfere with, misalign with, or diminish. And in that realization, you experience freedom, clarity, and the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing that your journey is entirely in Allah's hands, and that His plan for you is perfect, beyond manipulation, beyond betrayal, and beyond the limitations of anyone else. For when Allah reveals others' true nature, He is simultaneously revealing asterisk, asterisk, your own divine identity, asterisk, asterisk, your resilience, your destiny, and your unwavering place as a chosen one who will rise above all worldly deceptions, step into your divine role, and fulfill the mission only you were created to achieve. Chosen one, pay close attention, because this is a lesson that strikes at the core of your spiritual journey. Allah allows illusions to exist in your life, not to confuse you, not to punish you, and not to make you doubt yourself, but to prepare you for a level of divine power and authority that cannot be carried by a heart still entangled in fantasy or false security. For years, perhaps decades, you may have been chasing dreams that felt promising, clinging to relationships that seemed sincere, or believing in outcomes that appeared favorable, only to discover that reality did not match the picture, and this mismatch, though painful, was not accidental. For illusions are the shadows that hide the divine light within you, and Allah, in His infinite wisdom, must break them gently, deliberately, and often painfully, because clarity is the prerequisite for elevation, and nothing in the physical or emotional realm can properly align you with your purpose until the false has been revealed and released, and so you have felt betrayed by people, disappointed by circumstances, and frustrated by opportunities that vanished without explanation. Yet every illusion that breaks is a protective measure, a spiritual realignment, and a signal that Allah is about to shift your energy into a dimension where only truth exists, because power entrusted to someone still clinging to illusion is easily misused, distorted, or lost. And Allah, who knows the weight of the mission He has placed upon your shoulders, refuses to let that happen. And now, as the veils fall away, as what was once believed to be loyal is exposed as conditional, and as what seemed permanent dissolves into the truth of Allah's decree, you begin to feel an inner liberation that is both humbling and empowering, because the breaking of illusion is not destruction, it is asterisk, asterisk, preparation, asterisk, asterisk, a clearing of space for divine momentum to flow freely, for insight to sharpen, and for spiritual authority to awaken without obstruction. And you realize that those experiences you once called disappointment were actually lessons in discernment, training your heart to recognize the genuine, the sincere, and the aligned, and the soul begins to perceive reality through the lens of divine wisdom rather than human expectation. And this process is neither easy nor painless, because illusions are comfortable, familiar, and often seductive. Yet Allah knows that comfort is rarely the vehicle for transformation, and so the heart must endure discomfort, the mind must confront contradiction, and the spirit must release attachment, and in that surrender, a remarkable truth emerges. What breaks is replaced by something far greater than what was lost. And when the illusions fall, clarity rises. And when clarity rises, power awakens, because divine power cannot be wielded by a mind clouded with misconception or a heart weighed down by misplaced trust. And now you see why patience was demanded, why heartbreak was permitted, and why the silence of unanswered prayers was maintained. Because Allah was orchestrating a spiritual calibration to ensure that when the time comes, you step into your mission with eyes wide open, discernment fully active, and intentions untainted by error, bias, or expectation. And every broken illusion becomes a stepping stone towards strength, wisdom, and alignment with the divine will, because the divine cannot partner with the false, and the true chosen one can only operate in the reality that Allah establishes. And this is why, when illusions finally break, the soul feels both liberation and awakening, a combination of relief and empowerment that signals the arrival of new spiritual authority, unseen influence, and divine favor. And in that awakening, you understand that the struggles you endured, the people you misjudged, the dreams that dissolved, and the paths that closed were never random. They were asterisk, carefully orchestrated lessons, designed to remove everything unworthy of your divine assignment, to refine your heart, sharpen your mind, and prepare your spirit, so that when Allah releases His power into your life, it flows unimpeded, fully aligned with your purpose, and unstoppable in its impact. And now, as clarity settles in and illusions dissolve, you are positioned to wield your divine power with wisdom, integrity, and certainty, because the breaking of illusions was never punishment, it was preparation for the elevation, influence, and destiny that Allah has chosen for you. And nothing, not betrayal, not loss, not disappointment, not false hope, can now obstruct what Allah has meticulously prepared for the one He has chosen one. This lesson carries a weight few truly comprehend, because truth is not merely knowledge or awareness, it is a test, a divine threshold that determines whether you are ready for the expansion Allah has prepared for you. And for a long time, you have been asking for growth, for clarity, for purpose, and for elevation, yet Allah has not answered in the ways you expected, not because He is withholding, but because the full truth, must come first. And it must come when your heart, mind, and soul are ready to receive it without distortion, hesitation, or resentment, because expansion in the wrong season, in the wrong state, with the wrong understanding, can lead to arrogance, misdirection, or even destruction. And Allah, in His infinite wisdom, designs these trials as a final filter to determine your readiness for what is coming. So the delays, the heartbreak, the betrayals, the disappointments, the silent prayers, the unanswered calls, the invisible struggles, all of it is part of this ultimate preparation. And now the truth begins to unveil itself piece by piece. The motives of people you trusted, the intentions of those who stood beside you, the unseen patterns in events that seemed random, the hidden wisdom behind closed doors, and the divine lessons embedded in your suffering. And this unveiling is both illuminating and painful, because seeing clearly means letting go of illusions, abandoning false hopes, and reconciling with the reality that not everyone who smiled with you was sincere, not every opportunity was meant for your good, and not every plan aligned with your destiny. And the challenge, the test, lies in receiving this truth without bitterness, without despair, without anger, and without losing your humility. Because the moment you allow resentment to take root, you fail the test. And Allah waits for the chosen ones to respond with patience, wisdom, faith, and surrender. Because these are the qualities that make a heart ready to handle divine expansion, and expansion is not merely about success, influence, or power. It is about responsibility, alignment, and spiritual authority. And Allah will only entrust these gifts to those who have passed the truth test, who have faced reality with courage, and who have allowed clarity to purify their intentions, refine their focus, and elevate their consciousness. And this is why every hidden lesson from your past, every betrayal, every closed door, every painful separation, every unfulfilled expectation, has been preserved by Allah as a measure of your patience, a test of your sincerity, and a gauge of your resilience. Because when the truth comes, you will see that everything that happened was calibrated to awaken your discernment, strengthen your faith, and prepare your heart for the divine authority that must flow through you without being tainted, misused, or misunderstood. And now, as the veils fall and clarity floods your perception, you begin to see the people, the circumstances, and even yourself with a new vision, a vision that is informed by divine wisdom, not human opinion. And in this moment, you realize that *** truth is never harsh for punishment, but it is precise for preparation, ***. Because only those who can embrace truth fully, without distortion or complaint, can receive the responsibility and the expansion Allah has reserved for His chosen ones. And as you internalize this, your patience transforms into power, your resilience transforms into authority, your discernment transforms into wisdom, and your heart, once weighed down by confusion, now beats with clarity, conviction, and certainty, because this test was designed to separate the temporary from the eternal, the superficial from the essential, and the unprepared from the chosen. And now, having faced the truth, having embraced it fully, having allowed it to illuminate every corner of your mind and heart, you are ready to step into the next phase of your divine journey, the phase where *** your influence, your purpose, your mission, and your impact will expand beyond what you have ever imagined. Because truth, when received with patience and humility, becomes the final key that unlocks divine doors, aligns destiny with action, and activates blessings that were always reserved for the one Allah has chosen. And as you move forward, remember this: every challenge you endured, every deception you uncovered, every silent trial you faced was never random. It was a sacred calibration, a spiritual refining, and a deliberate preparation so that when Allah releases the expansion into your life, it flows through you unimpeded, unstoppable, and unmistakably aligned with your ultimate purpose. And now, chosen one, as you stand on the threshold of this divine awakening, know that ** truth has tested you, truth has strengthened you, and truth has prepared you for a magnitude of elevation, responsibility, and divine impact that only the chosen can carry ***. And in this, your heart will never doubt again, your spirit will never waver again, and your journey will never be ordinary again, because Allah has spoken through truth, and through truth, your expansion begins. Chosen one, take a deep breath and let this truth settle into your heart, because Allah has lifted the veils, revealed the clarity you were ready for, and illuminated the path that was always meant for you. And now every delay, every struggle, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer, and every moment of confusion begins to make sense. Not as punishment, not as misfortune, but as precise preparation for the mission only you could fulfill. And this clarity is your compass, this wisdom is your shield, and this revealed purpose is your guiding light. So rise with confidence, walk with faith, and step forward with courage, because what Allah has prepared for you cannot be delayed, cannot be stolen, and cannot be obstructed. And your journey, your impact, and your destiny are fully protected. And as you embrace this truth, remember that the awakening of one chosen soul can ignite transformation for many. So hold on to your faith, trust in Allah's timing, and know without doubt that you are chosen, you are protected, and Allah has never left your side.